And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is Ninja DC. Joining up for not react this time, just a nerd news update podcast. Join me again is Carlos.
Okay. Are you ready? Sing. Go, 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 go. Kamen Rider Online Gunmetal is on deck, ready and willing to launch at my opponents. How do you do, ladies and gentlemen?
All right. The next up, Jenn.
I may be first, I may be last, I may be stuffed like an oversized turkey because of Thanksgiving. And by the way, I have no regrets of stealing all the rolls, nor the rum cake. Fight me! But I am first, and always, Jenn. Gobble.
Gobble, gobble.
Gobble, gobble.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then that's it for now, though we might have second and day popping in later. That's to be determined. So, yeah. But I guess, do you want to all go briefly what we've been up to before jump into the main subject, which is lots of nerd news that's happened surprisingly since the last time.
Yeah, can I go ahead? Can I go ahead and do my little tiny announcement, please?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, all right. I know I've talked about Elements of Justice, in which I play a character on there. I play Princess Luna in there. So the cool thing is, Elements of Justice episode case 2, episode 8 will be premiering on YouTube tomorrow at around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or whichever time zone. Check your time zones. Feel free to check in on that episode, and because stuff in the story gets good. And that's pretty much it. It's exciting.
All right.
Okay, all right. So I guess for me, I'm literally T-2 weeks before this before the weekend in the middle of December. I'm literally gonna be like in a 2-day bit to see whether or not if I might be able to luck myself into the top 8 for like any sort of Vanguard tournament with the actual cards instead of it playing the phone app game. For the Bushiroad Championship Series. It's gonna be one of the most intense tournaments experiences I'm probably gonna have, since it's gonna be my first standard tournament event, but also my first V standard event as well. Even though I could have had that opportunity like 4 years ago, but missed out on it because of issues. So yeah, it's gonna be like a rough time, but like I gotta really aim to go for it with like a somewhat incompleted deck. Well, not incomplete, more of like I just didn't spend the big bucks on a certain big card, and I'm just gonna try to luck it with a little horsey card by the name of Flaming Pony, which is an actual alicorn in Vanguard. I know.
Wow.
I can't believe there's an actual alicorn based off of fire.
Makes sense, actually.
Yeah, it was kind of like the thing that convinced me I gotta play this deck, if only just so I could actually wear my Unova hat for like the event, just to see if I can actually win some games with it. And if I do get top 8, I'm gonna be showboating the hat the entire time, just being like, Flaming Pony is the best pony! Yes! just gonna go ahead and do that. Or in the V Premium event, in which I'm gonna be playing like grassy musketeers based on Beauty and Grace, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically like the Steven Universe gems, except for in this case, they're based off of plants instead of rocks.
Interesting.
Yeah. How's that for a cool concept?
That is interesting.
Yeah, And even though it's mostly female dominated, there are also some male musketeers, so it makes it really quite nice, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I just feel nice playing the deck all in all. So yeah, that's really what I got planned. Aside from that, I've been majorly been on a anime binge for this anime season because god dang it, fall anime season is just too good. Except for Keep 'em Made War, which I don't like that much. So I'm sorry for Keep 'em Made War fans. It wasn't my thing. But everything else, god, it's too much good stuff. Except for Yukio Go Rush. And I'm sorry to say this, I think I'm officially dropped out of the entire Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, at least until Go Rush actually gets good. Or if not, it's just going to be the biggest dark spot in the anime history for me, and the one that got me to drop out of Yu-Gi-Oh. And I can't believe I really gone to this point now. I just didn't think I would like leave one of my childhood favorite franchises for such a big reason, even though I couldn't support the card game or even the online card game because of how toxic the competitive environment is. But here we are now. But yeah, I guess aside from that, anyone who's a Bleach fan, you got justified this week with episode 7.
Is that 1,000-Year War or is that no
The
1,000
Thousand Year Blood War. Yeah, 1000 Year Blood
Oh,
War arc.
I thought it was a movie, but apparently it's a series, eh?
It's basically 48 episodes split across 4 anime seasons.
Oh, good God.
It's gonna be really good.
Just when you think the thing's ended.
We're only at the beginning, Jen. Things are only gonna get worse until they get better. In this case, we like the first half. It's just literally like, oh, we just lost some big players. Oh God, we lost a certain big player that I'm just like I can't even say anything about because it's like if you hear who died, it's just like why? Oh hey, second.
Hey,
Hi. And the answer is I don't know why.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You said if there's a big player that dies. Question. This player wouldn't happen to have red hair, would they?
No, be fortunate.
Never mind.
It's not the red hair guy. It's not the red hair guy.
Never mind. It's not. Wait, it's not the crazy. It's not the crazy one, is it?
No, it's
Okay,
related to the red. It's related to the red hair guy. Like higher up on the food chain.
It's not. It's not. It's not Byakuya, is it? No, don't do this to me. I did it to myself. You know what? I did it to myself. I asked for this. I asked for this.
Oh yeah, and also the actual leader of the 13 squads is dead.
What the heck is going on?
Yeah, like the Quincy's are no joke.
The Quincy's are no joke.
Oh yeah, that's the big final antagonist.
It's
dealing
a Quincy?
with No, Nazi Quincy's.
This just sounds all sorts of wrong.
Oh, it's
This just sounds all sorts of wrong. Bleach is on crack.
Oh, just wait until the big plot twist about Ichiko for this one.
I'm scared now.
Yeah, but yeah. Hey, second. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, second.
Good to be here, man. Thank you very much.
Hey, second.
To give you a quick update, second, where this is just going to be like a news and what we've been up to podcast. Since schedules are going to be too tight to really do React, and like you said Dave wouldn't be able to go, and yeah, so the React is on hold, but we're just doing like a discussion podcast and also several of the big news stories.
Yeah, there's a
Yep.
lot
That's
of
what
big
you
news
want.
stories. Yeah, like so. So we're just talking about what's been going on in our lives. So I
Mhm.
think you're the second to last one to talk about your life right now. So
Yeah, so updates
let's
of what's
hit
going
it.
on with you.
Well, let's see. Been, hey, things that are interesting on the movie front. Oh, well, on the regular front, Daylover has got her green card here.
Woohoo!
We
Focus
got
for whatever she wants to
nationality.
do or be in the second opinion household.
Heck
The second
yeah.
day
Yeah!
household, I have to get used to calling it now.
Yeah, it's official. Second day is officially confirmed American. Or in this case, yeah, confirmed like, yeah, we're staying here, or we're basically like, we can do whatever we want here.
They're,
Here,
com-
here.
they're coming to America.
Boy. And it only took 2 years of dating, one proposal, 2.5 years of Uncle Sam sitting on his thumbs, and 2 weddings. And I say that without there having been any divorce between each one.
Yeah, so
How's that for a Hallmark message? I mean Hallmark romance.
like honestly, the fact that you guys were able to like work so well within yourselves, like within the 2 year span,
Yeah,
yeah, I gotta give it props. Like you
totally.
guys you guys don't feel like any sort of like fractures or anything like that of the sort. So hey,
Mhm.
it's even bigger kudos. You'll be
Yes.
probably be the ones to actually outlast like every other relationship that comes out,
Alright, that's really
which is a
sweet.
sad which
Yeah.
is actually a very sad fact about the state of marriage, honestly. Like that you guys feel like the only ones that might be able to last until the end.
Aye. Well, I mean, divorces are so much more salty to talk about, so
True.
Yeah.
you hear about them more, but
Truth.
boy, there are a lot of people who make it. I dare say we're even learning more about, how to find the one who you will be good with for a very, very, very long time these days.
Very,
Mm-hmm.
very true. Very, very, very true. But
Mm-hmm.
we are all so happy for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Definitely, absolutely.
Mm-mm.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mm-mm.
And
So how's everybody? Is everybody promptly stuffed? Promptly stuffed for over Thanksgiving and such?
yeah, we
Not
had a great
yet.
Thanksgiving here.
Mm-hmm.
Tried some cranberry lemon meringue pie. That was pretty good.
Ooh,
Ooh, that's
cranberry.
kind
Oh,
of an interesting one.
cranberry meringue or cranberry lemon meringue?
Cranberry lemon meringue.
Give me the recipe now.
Yeah,
The New York
that does
Times
sound
I
good.
demand the
fact.
recipe. I demand the recipe.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
that fits available. She got it out of the New York Times, but
Nice. Nice. If there's any secret ingredients, don't. What the? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
if there's any secret ingredients, don't worry. I won't tell anybody. I'll take it to my grave. I promise.
meh. So that, oh yeah, and we've been expanding our list of movies we've seen lately. We actually ventured out into horror movies, but they had to be the how do you say, compromise variety. We got Prey in there, which
That's right.
I mean that I swear punches real close with the first Predator for which one is better. Like they both
Ooh.
did certain things so well. But yeah, that the some Universal monster movies and stuff. We actually, I think I've caught myself up on Dracula. I finally saw Bram Stoker's Dracula for the first time, and
Nice.
Bela Lugosi's, and because I'd already seen Nosferatu, but I saw Werner Herzog's 70s Nosferatu, the one that Angry Video Game Nerd described as the 2001 A Space Odyssey of horror movies.
Wow, what a comparison.
Yeah, well, not a haphazard one, because what he meant is that the 70s Nosferatu really takes its time with everything. Just like, the scenery going by and the atmosphere blinking in, and
Mhm.
geez, maybe even past the persona. I do have a little pretentious critic in me after all, because it was my favorite one.
I see.
I mean, I think I softly have a new favorite horror movie now, like the trip where Jonathan Harker on the way to Dracula's castle, having to walk there because no one will lead him a horse. I mean, I swear, like, your favorite animator trying to do an avant-garde scene couldn't have done it better. It's like him, just traveling these, Transylvania mountains and landscapes and clouds that slowly swallow up the sun, and it's like he's just, walking to his doom in this beautiful dark land, slowly swallowing him up, and just, hot damn.
Ooh, sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, like that he was trying to convey with a movie that takes its time in a way comparable to 2001: A Space Odyssey. I guess you have to be patient with it on some level. I mean, although I'm more like say, just like, enjoy the beauty, the dark beauty.
Hey, always good.
So yeah, that was pretty fun, and
nice.
Oh, and we also are, because it's on Disney Plus, catching up on our 50s Zorro show.
Oh, interesting.
We had to pause on that for so long, but lo and behold, it's on Disney Plus. The answer is simple, and I've seen it before. I always thought like season 1 was pretty darn good. I mean, it's definitely the 10-year-old Zorro. Like, the bad guys are never truly ahead of him. Like, even the worst, like the absolute most totally screwed he gets is like, okay, Zorro is, the bad guys have the upper hand for a minute here. Now we're going to calmly tell you the story of how Zorro picks it apart and gets the best of them. But there's a lot of like, it's serial-sized arcs that, him overthrowing the tyrannical captain of the army who is bearing down on everybody when he gets home, and becoming Zorro so he can, rely on faking the guy out instead of putting his swordsmanship. He spent all this time in Spain learning to fight him one-on-one because he knows that the odds of that working out are not the highest. And then, and a conspiracy to, overtake California and sell it to some unnamed foreign country and whatnot. Like, lots of cool stuff. And then season 2 starts out with like, okay, smaller but equally interesting versions of those arcs. And then it just kind of, the second half of season 2, I remember being just, he, after going out to Monterey to, find out the giant conspiracies there and stuff, he goes back to his original home base and just kind of solves problems. Like, Cesar Romero has come to guest star and also to marry some wealthy woman he's not worthy of by pretending he loves her and not just for her money. Well, clearly Zorro has to do something about that. That one was especially disappointing. I mean, it starts off, it's like the first half is fine. The second half, it's like, darn, we have the future Joker and Zorro to do this. To fall in puddles and be chased by skunks. Like, They did close out, though, with a pseudo season 3 of like 4 made-for-TV movies that I did think were better than the second half of season 3, so I'll say something for that.
Okay.
The second half of season 2. Yeah, I thought the TV movies of season 3-ish, kind of like Futurama having a season 5 of TV movies, I thought that was better in Zorro's case than the second half of season 2.
Wow.
Not in Futurama. I think Futurama's movie season is its worst season, but we're getting off topic now.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh boy. But yeah, that's pretty much the story with us. If any of you want some Daylover artwork, she's opening up commissions on DeviantArt and on Etsy soon.
Sweet.
Get in line.
I think so, I will.
Commission shilling over in here.
Commission. She's awesome.
Do it again.
Yeah.
How dare you represent your wife's work and put it out to the public? For shame, man. For shame, young man.
Not shame at all. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. This is why they will last until the end of time, I tell you. It's called support for your spouse, people. Google it.
Okay. So, Derek? You got stuff
Well, I just
going
have
on
to-
at your end?
Yeah. Like I said, entertainment-wise, I've been sort of watching 2 anime, but since they sort of reached the end of available episodes in dub, like one was, I think I mentioned before, Call of the Night, which I paused, but I'm sort of caught more up to. And then the other anime I've been watching is, let me see, is Beast Tamer.
Which I know that's a current one for this season, which I don't really know much of. I just only know it vaguely from Geek's recent video on fall anime season, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to watch another isekai where it's another form of slavery again. God.
What did he say about it? Because I'm curious.
He hints at it being like another shield hero in the case of like, wait, but this is just another form of slavery. God dang it, isekai. Why?
It's not. Need to stop.
The way I like to describe Beast Tamer, it's sort of like Shield Hero meets let me see, what's that one? That one slime anime, the one isekai that's very like chill and all that, not the.
Wait, which slime? Because there's 3.
I know. I said the chill one that was like the kid, like he was reincarnated as a kid who tames slimes.
I thought he was reincarnated as a slime.
No.
That's the main.
There's different slime animes because there's I've been killing slimes for 300 years and I became max level. Then there's Slime Rancher, the anime, and then reincarnate as a slime, which is the big one. Yeah.
But like I say, it's basically.
Wait a minute. There's actually 4. There's actually 4 now because there's been one of last season in which the guy literally had multiple character slimes. Oh God, it multiplied. It multiplied to no end.
But just I mean, I was trying to say that was a show that I feel got the similar tone where it's like a very chill, not very. It's not. It's like it's sort of like it was like between that, a Shield Hero, and like Banished from the Heroes Party, where it's like sort of a mix of Banished from the Heroes Party and Shield Hero, but like with a much more like slice of life friendly tone, where it's not very dark and grim. So it's very, like I said, it has like a tone of like a classic slice of life. So like I said, it's a Shield Hero, but like it's like Shield Hero if you don't want to be depressed. Because he is banished from the Heroes Party, but like he's just sort of his life basically improves because of it. And it's like, oh yeah, the Heroes Party are just assholes, like hilariously bad. Like if like in the same way that Team Rocket is just sort of like cartoonishly bad, but they're not.
Right.
This is like if they remove that are not, where it's like they're cartoonishly like they're so like unrelentingly just terrible people. But not like in like a dark malicious way, but just like more like just they're just assholes. And like they're unrelentingly like that.
Wow.
So,
but yeah, like I said, so yeah, it's a nice. It's like if you want a less intense Shield Hero, it's like it's very, it's a very chill show.
I mean, like for me, I just wanted to be like another anime in which kind of had like the main character reason out slavery. That's really it, you know. Because
but it's not really slavery. I think he just did like it's just like essentially he's a beast tamer. There's these other species which, because they're not human, he can form contracts with. And that's just the whole thing. It's like voluntary contract they enter. Um, and I got this sort of like it's not like a slave contract.
So
Uh,
I
but
gotcha.
yeah,
I
but
might
yeah,
be willing to try. I might be willing to try it out if it's your suggestion. Honestly,
no, it is not a dark or like there's no implied slavery or anything like that. Um, it's just like it's another like sort of like slice of life sort of like fun show. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Ah.
But as I said, I've reached the end of the episodes I can watch, so I'm just sort of waiting for new ones to come out. But besides that, like the other thing I've been doing is game wise, because of Ratchet and Clank's anniversary, I did finally played Into the Nexus via the streaming on PS3, PS4, the streaming from the PS3 cloud. That service is not good. The game was good, but like, dear gosh, that is streaming game streaming as in like playing games over stream. That technology is not there yet. It's not.
Mm.
Um, uh, but besides that, like the only thing is like yeah, I've just recently started the new God of War Ragnarok, which is not too far in, but yeah, going for that.
Okay.
What
uh,
else?
uh, mhm. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, even though I couldn't play this like on gaming or mention it like this, a certain game came out like the day before Pokemon actually, and that is Cardfight Vanguard's first attempt at bringing out a global release of a video game of theirs called Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days.
Oh wow.
But the problem with why I can't really advertise it for all of us Americans is because they have regional pricing, and while everywhere else in the world it could be super cheap, here in
Wowie.
America it costs $70 for a copy.
What the heck?
But that's not even the worst part. If you somehow manage to be a Vanguard fan in Argentina, you have to spend $100.
Oh no way.
And that's the only
Well,
big problem with the game. Is that like here in the US is literally the second or third most expensive version of the game you could get.
How is that possible?
Regional pricing from like the economy. That's what it is. And
Every time.
I just really did not wish it could have been like that. I just wish it could have been a normal $60 price game. That
Wow.
would have been acceptable. The
The
most
more I
ex-
think about it, the more I'm like, man, inflation really is a thing.
Yeah, and here's the really sucky thing. It
Hmm.
was going to be the first Vanguard game which had a female protagonist. That
Oh
would be,
wow.
yeah, which I saw through all of its story mode, and it's like, it was basically the story of a Mary Sue basically being able to stop herself from being a Mary Sue video game protagonist who was following orders to be like, you know what? I'm going to want to do this myself. I'm not going to listen to what people are telling me to do. Because if I'm doing that, then that's just how soulless my card game skills are.
Wow.
All right, but I guess to move on to the other the news segments. Um, But yeah, because as I said, this is originally going to be a React episode for you listeners, but yeah, just because conflicting schedules and yeah, Thanksgiving did not help with that. It helped stuff us, but it did not help with the availabilities.
And we're all
So
we're
we
all
just,
high up. We're all probably high on tryptophan or some sort of yeah. We're all yeah.
but yeah, because of that, but it sort of worked out because there's been a lot of media news hitting as of like since the last recording. So let's start, and I might as well start with the bad news just to get out of the way. Well, we have two big deaths coming out. Most recent,
Yeah,
first was Kevin Conroy, who was the most famous voice of Batman, arguably the most famous Batman actor.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other was the most famous Power Ranger, the actor of
Jason
Tommy.
David Frank.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
yeah, like, and here's the thing: Kevin Conroy passed away because of cancer, but
Mm.
Jason David Frank was a
Died by
huge
his own
shock.
hand.
Yeah, died by suicide. He was only like
49.
49. Yeah.
49. It's one of those times that like you just think like, really, this can't be like
I know, right?
like it's literally the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers even.
I know.
Like, do
And-
you have any idea like how much heavier it is now?
And it's also sad. It's also sad because now he's the second. He's now the second Power Ranger to have left us.
Too soon.
For the, no,
Left
not
us too soon.
second, not second. You mean second original? We
Yeah,
already
that's what I
lost
mean.
the red. We already lost the red Ninja Storm Ranger already.
Right. He was the. Yeah, he's one of the. He's the second of the original of kind of the original season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that left us too soon.
Yeah. Plus, Jason the Red Ranger might end up spending the rest of his day in jail.
What?
Yeah, he was
the red Jason, the original Red Ranger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
What he tried to do, he tried to, he was linked to some kind of wire fraud, and
Oh, good God.
yeah, he could end up spending quite a bit in jail
Oh my
because of that, and
gosh.
that's a sad downfall because he was I remember seeing him recorded at one point. He was a firefighter, and as far as coming back to acting, he said, like, I don't know, I kind of like being a hero in real life, and
Well, yeah, understandable.
and yeah, this is what happened.
Oh,
He
that's just
I mean, I
sad.
don't know, like, money. He's someone who's spent, if you've heard the stories about the first season, he spent some of his life getting the short end of the stick over money, and I mean, I know that, like, a lot of us but yeah, jeez, man, it was not worth this. Do not go and do something dumb like that.
True.
But yeah, going back, yeah, the second one sort of was more surprising. Just sort of came out of nowhere.
Totally.
But Kevin
Uh-huh.
Conroy, I'm not honestly too surprised because he's been getting a lot of live action stuff as of late.
Yeah.
You've seen him; he's looked very thin.
Yeah.
Like not unlike because he's muscular and all. You can tell he works out a lot when
Yeah.
he's fit, but like
His
he was
face
just
looked kinda
unnaturally
gaunt.
thin.
Yeah.
And
that's what cancer does, you know.
Yeah, so that's why I was like I was literally worried about myself for a while. Like like that's, and then so yeah, that one unfortunately didn't surprise me too much, but
Yeah.
uh,
The one with
like,
Jason David Frank was completely out of nowhere.
well, first off, let me say for Kevin Conroy, I mean, I know we have mixed feelings about our whole nostalgia critiquian beginnings here and this kind of thing, but yeah, let it be said that, yeah, one thing I'll always be grateful to all that for, and including the guy, nostalgia critic himself, is that it all involved a major push in giving Kevin Conroy the recognition he deserved for
Right.
getting us to come together in one place and be like, he was pretty good, wasn't he? He really had his finger on the pulse of what, you would want to see from Batman.
Right.
Ongoing.
Right.
Boy. Yeah, so I mean, it could never be enough, but I am glad he got some of the recognition he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, towards the end of his career and all that.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy is legitimately even more prolific than any of like the live action actors for superhero movies, really.
Truly.
That's just how big his legend carries on.
Truly.
Transcends
Voice
any
actors
franchise.
with full resumes, he holds his own, yeah.
Well, I mean, voice actors like for like shows, video games, very easily. Like he's like an S tier act. He was an S tier actor that like knew the craft, and like now everyone will very greatly miss him and his performances for sure, and will treasure BTAS as like a legacy, that probably won't be moving anytime soon.
Yeah. And here's something else. Yeah, I'm glad he at least got towards the end of his life. He managed to find love and marry. And yeah, I mean, imagine the pushback. I mean, I hate to say this was strategic, but it probably was. He, yeah, had to hide his homosexuality for most of his career, and I think, yeah, even before revealing it, kept it real on the down low. Like
Mhm.
and when he revealed
Wow.
it in a press promotion for the Killing Joke, I think, like, I don't even think that got through. Not in my news feed. It was all news about how bad the Killing Joke was. But yeah, imagine the backlash he would have had to face for that. A gay Batman, like brave, talented guy, and I'm glad, in spite of things, a lot of it worked out for him.
Yeah, truly sad.
So
Yeah.
like I guess now like on the other side of the coin, JDF suffered a lot more tragedies near the end of his life, which now I feel like the only solace he can really have now is that he will finally meet up with his brother again.
Listen, David Frank, I mean, in Power Rangers, it seemed like the fans were appreciating him, that he, for what he showed us he could do. He was getting, some recognition for it. Maybe you could have, I mean, like, this was a guy who was like, skilled with a capital S in martial arts. He maybe could have gotten some more parts related to that based on that. But yeah, it's a real shame that, that's how he felt in, spite of it all with what he was going through.
Mm.
And yeah, let it be said. I mean, yeah, never wipe away that, what people say about getting help and the value of it as background noise. Like, if you have not inflicted that kind of horror on anyone else, then you absolutely do not deserve to have it inflicted on yourself.
Mhm.
And it's out there, help is out there, and like no pride or whatever else is more important than you getting it.
True.
Treat yourself like you value.
Truth.
Like you matter.
Truth.
Yeah, I wanted to get those out because that's just in general like just the bad news that like there's no way ifs and outs about it. That's just how that goes. But I guess moving on to I guess we'll move on to some of the Pokemon news. Because Carlos might be having to leave soon because we have Thanksgiving, but he has a very late Thanksgiving dinner. It might be he have to leave for soon, so I want to get his thoughts and opinions on these news stories.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess might as well start with the first thing, which is sort of a mini news thing, but more of a follow up on news that happened. Like it's sort of like clips by the game actually getting released. But before Scarlet and Violet got released, there was actually a leak that showed the evolutions of all the major ones, and Spaghetto is confirmed to be go to bipedal.
Oh yes, and let me just tell you, Sprigatito's final evolution is literally a furry version of Noir from Persona 5. I am not joking.
What about what again?
Of Noir, Haru.
Yeah.
Haru
What about Noir? What about Haru?
Yeah, like literally, Sprigatito honestly feels like would be the most ideal Pokemon for Haru. Like
Oh,
legitimately.
okay.
Like
Got it.
legitimately. It is a magician Pokemon. the name Meowscarada,
Meowscarada.
and it's literally based off like the peninsula's links actually.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. It's so it's like it's literally like the Brexian like and Belfox effect with Sprigatito.
Oh,
That's
cool.
what it is.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the design, I actually might post in a few minutes just for you to see. But yeah, it's very much reminds me of it's a similar like vein as Lucario's design, but it's for like a grass Pokemon and like a Lucario, but like in a persona like Phantom Thief get up.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I brought this
Cool.
news story up just because there's been like a long debate for like several months about Spaghetto. I mean, she should like it just be a stay quadruped. It's like don't let it stand, and another saying don't stand up was like a whole big ongoing joke. And then yeah, so yeah, she ended up or he, depending on whatever random algorithm you go with, does end up standing up. But on the
Yeah.
bright side is like Spaghetto does not turn into a luchador.
Oh.
It's either just a full-on magician or Phantom Thief. Your preference. Probably Phantom Thief for all the Persona fans out there.
Yeah,
Meowscarada.
definitely.
Meowscarada represent.
Yes.
But but here's the other case. Coco's final evolution. I'm just gonna say it. Coco is now indeed the #1 best Pokemon of the series. I'm saying it. #1 best starter. #1 best typing. Like
Wow.
seriously. And #1 best concept, including the fact that he even has a little companion just like actual crocodiles. Coco goes and
This
becomes
is what you get when you
Crocalor.
ask a Gator fan.
Crocalor, which literally has a little like sombrero hat, which is actually a nest with an egg, and then it becomes one of the most intimidating fire types of all time. Not just any starter, fire types in general, being a fire ghost type. That's right. It takes from Hisuian.
So it dies when it
Typhlosion.
evolves.
No, that's not the case of it.
Kills itself, does a voodoo ritual to bring itself back to life as a fire
No.
ghost, and voila, evolved.
No, that's not the thing. That's not the thing. The egg that it has like on top of its head hatches into a firebird.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a ghostly firebird. That's what gives it the ghost typing. It's for the bird.
Yeah, I just couldn't resist the chance to be a smart aleck. Don't mind me.
But we do call it El Muerte Gator, El Muerte Croc, honestly, because its face really does invoke like Day of the Dead imagery with its head, cranium.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so great finally having our first ever fully evolved quadrupedal fire type starter. It took us 25 years, but we finally made it, guys.
Cool.
Everyone else had to complain about quadrupedal starters as soon as Gen 6 came around. But I'm sorry. Or Gen 5.
Typhlosion only go on its hind legs?
Most of the time, yeah. That's really the thing with Typhlosion.
I mean,
But
I know
like,
he's drawn that way, but I mean, like we had a whatever that show was that tried to be like, hey, what if the Gen 2 protagonist from the games was actually a thing in a show, and he had a Typhlosion, didn't he? Nobody knows what I'm talking about. So,
well, you mean Pokemon Chronicles? You mean Pokemon Chronicles? I know what you mean.
Also, Jen in a second, I posted the evolution of like Spaghetto in the chat. Found some fan art that sort of covers it.
Okay. I'll check it out in a
Yeah,
second.
like the fan. Oh yeah, by the way, the middle stage evolution for Sprigatito uses yo-yos. So chalk that up to another Persona 5 reference with our dear AI companion from Strikers.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Rock.
I have to keep adding the
Yes.
Persona 5 love.
But I guess moving on to the other Pokemon, I'm going in order instead of like sort of how they came out instead of this connection. Because yeah, we'll get
Is
back to
one
the
of the-
games in a second.
Oh,
Is
you want to
one
know
of your
about the
pieces
water
of news the reception that Pokemon Violet and Scarlet seem to be getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the final part. Like we're going to go in order. So like next up is actually the for going back to anime is with the Pokemon tournament. So to give some mild spoilers, Ash became champion of the world.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a screenshot of that.
You're the champion, my
A
friend.
And he kept on fighting till the end. Ash is the champion. Ash is the champion. No,
There's probably still time for losers. They're going to have to build up how the next league is going to get him if he keeps going.
I mean, honestly, Gen 9 storyline makes it very easy for Ash to be fitted in.
So what?
Gen 9 storyline could easily fit Ash in very easily for an anime.
Yeah. Hey.
Also, they could just have him basically decide to start over with in a region again or something like that. Besides Pikachu.
Yeah. Well, it looks like he found what the solution was, actually good Pokemon, for all that like going on and on about how he's the underdog and yeah, wins with these Squirtles and these Pikachus and their offbeat strategies. Yeah, his winning team, it was like I think it was like teams that spent more time and overused over the generations of Pokemon than not, isn't it?
surprise.
Hey, Penny from
Day!
Day. Oh, and Sirfetch'd is there too, but yeah.
Hi, Day!
The only one that's good is the gator.
Jen says hi.
No.
Okay. Hey.
Hey, although Jen does not,
Today.
Day does
What?
not like the new evolutions except for
Oh, I
our
need.
crocodile here, so it looks like you get some validation there, Gator.
Oh, I need to check out that thing with myself. Let me see here.
So yeah, like the anime like finally gives us like
Oh
a
yeah, this.
great satisfying episode that honestly has the best animation for the entire series in episode 132.
Okay, I just saw the picture you sent in the chat. Oh yeah, this has Haru written all over it. This has Haru written all over it, totally.
Okay, real talk. It sounds like with the getting back to the point of Ash actually getting somewhere, it sounds like it started with Pokemon X and then continued with that small time league. He actually won whatever that was, and
It was Alola, aka Sun and Moon, which was a very wholesome family show.
And then like X and Y was like supposedly the upgrade to oh dang, this is actually a quality anime even without the lore and the fan base and all that. And Lola was okay, if you like Adora Beatty's done right, then this is your show. And then this is supposedly the culmination of Ash actually getting somewhere. So if after Check's watch about 20 years I wanted to jump back into the anime and try it after all, would it be a valid decision to just do those 3 seasons XY Alola and this and say I really didn't miss that much?
Journeys was very hit and miss, honestly.
Awesome.
This most recent one was?
Yeah,
Awesome.
very hit and miss.
Okay, but it is, I think it will be mandatory viewing for Pokemon fans that view things because just
Mhm.
because it like actually has the payoff we've been waiting Chuck's watch about 25 years for.
Yes. Yeah, it's now very much mandatory at this point.
So, all right, but I can see those 3 seasons, and I'm not gonna miss too much, right? Like,
I mean, except for
jump-
Sinnoh. You need to watch Sinnoh. If you
jumped
want
out
to see-
sometime around like in Hoenn. I think using Pikachu's thunder as armor was my cue that okay, this show really does not give a darn anymore.
Swallow
that-
Pikachu Thunder Armor is one of the best strat, and I will not hear any slander against it.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody's like, no, they can't help them. Like, I'm sorry, like contextualized with all the yeah. Use quick attack. Pikachu's quick attack is coming at me at a 90-degree angle with great speed. I will have to do something very quick and very perfect to dodge it. Okay, it's almost halfway here now of the, that style of battling and the pandering to the game players in the worst way. Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. Pikachu! The burn hurt him! Like, that was kind of the pinnacle of, lazy, the thunder armor thing to me just came across the pinnacle of the lazy. Like, we don't care, just make an impression, do something that the little dumb viewers will react to. It's like once the thunder armor goes off, I think they played that scene a little bit off. That triumphant music, the dun 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 dun. You need like they had the cuts to them looking epic, but they did it in the wrong order. First, they needed a cut to Pikachu and Swallow flying left and looking epic, and then they needed a cut to Pikachu and Swallow flying right and looking epic, and then they needed a cut to all of the kids reacting in real time watching this with their heads tilted and their eyes cocked and their mouths hanging open, wondering how dumb this show thought they were. Like, yeah, there was. Didn't he like go back to Kanto / Indigo right after Hoenn though, and participate in the Battle Frontier? Kind of a better version of the Orange Islands if you're gonna do filler.
Oh, Battle Frontier. Battle Frontier is honestly mandatory watching, honestly, just because of like how good the lead up to Brandon is. And you're gonna need the concept of Battle Frontier for Sinnoh, for like one of the main characters in it. Because seriously, the whole thing for Battle Frontier is a great lead up to like why Ash and Sinnoh is like super good, and even decides to use a lot of his old Pokemon at the end there. Like it was like the Renaissance period for old school Pokemon. And then
Sinnoh was the Infernape arc in Glory Beach, the complex antagonist that is Paul and all that.
Yes.
I mean, there's I've heard that was good for Pokemon, but yeah, the fact that it was like the complete, like, it also, I heard, well, was Unova before that or after that?
Unova was unfortunately after that, in which it was the biggest travesty of the Pokemon
Okay,
anime.
so yeah, that represents the shift pretty at like the entirely new voiced cast, the going all in on the team changeover. I mean, that represents a pretty big leap to the we don't care about the what do you call it? We don't care about the ongoing fans frame of mind. We don't care about the mainstay fans that what I saw of that so far. It seemed like it represented a pretty strong shift into that. It represented, I think, like Hoenn at least, seemed like it was making the effort to be like, oh no, this is totally the next natural step in his story after Johto. Like, Sinnoh seemed like it was the confirmed screw you, like, okay, no, we're going to start with all of the progress erased, and at the end of it, we're going to end with no real progress gained and go back to all the progress erased. It is in the towards the beginning of a very big sea of that, like, so it offers no real contextual benefit as far as the ongoing story of Pokemon. Like, that's a lot of concessions to see a season that's good for Pokemon. I mean,
but then
my reluctance a bit, and also to see him lose to one of everyone's most hated Pokemon League matches, the Mr. I've got legendaries and got legendaries because screw you, and you've never heard of me before, and not even have the payoff to me being this good because I will disappear into the ethos after this. It was a different way to end it instead of like trying to be like, oh, Ash is so close, but this guy was just a little better, and the next guy was just a little better than him. I mean, in a roundabout way, I can kind of appreciate if they're going to do that. Like, look, it's not going to happen anytime soon. We're going to keep saying that there are people better than Ash, and like, if you're going to hope for something, hope for him to get this good. Until then, it's still Pokemon, the show that recycles itself. Got it?
All right, but I think that's all covered.
I've been hurt by
news.
Pokemon, all right.
Okay, man. Okay. Look. I've been hurt by Pokemon too, considering like my original username and like how much of a disappointment Unova was in the anime sense, and also because of tragedies happening at the same time. But like still, like Kalos was a big tragedy in of itself for the games. But yet it took the best parts of Black and White and was like, let's just make it into legitimately the Shonen Jump version of Pokemon.
I did hear that. Like, yeah, Black and White was the great games, horrible show, and X and Y was the, or was it? Okay, and X and Y was the horrible games, great show.
Yes, in which these two should have switched, and I feel like in the right timeline it should have been that way.
If one of them was horrible games, horrible show, it might have doomed the whole franchise.
I know, but it's more justified for Unova to still have like the better anime.
But yeah, like I said, though Ash finally won the tournament. As Carlos was also bringing up, like for several months, we still don't know exactly what the direction of the anime now.
Yeah, like even though like today's episode kind of revealed possibly like we might be getting Gen 9 anime, we're finally our first sneak peek at a Gen 9 Pokemon in the anime art style.
Yeah, we still though don't know exactly if Ash is still going to be. I would say probably is still going to be the main character, but they could be looking for a potential out. We don't know.
Yeah, like all I just see right now is like the biggest thing that we can take from episode 132 is Larvitar is considered an Ash Pokemon. Can we get a Woozer? Like seriously, that was the biggest plot twist in all of Pokemon for me. Larvitar is considered a Jotamon for him, and I just love that factoid. Because I care about that little rock monster more than any of Ash's Pokemon, except for Bayleaf in Gen 2 and Totodile. God dang it. Okay, yeah. So, like, Larvitar is the only one that has the strongest emotional connection that wasn't Bayleaf. You know? Like,
strong
seriously.
emotional connection with, let's see, I think Charizard has to fall into that category after the whole, like, up all night saving his life thing.
That wasn't during Gen 2. That was during the Orange Islands arc.
Oh, in Gen 2.
Yeah, in Gen 2, because honestly, aside from like Bayleaf like evolving for the sake of her love for Ash, It wasn't really much love and care for any of Ash's Jodomons, really. Totodile was just a walking, talking mascot, really. Cyndaquil was just the shy, reserved powerhouse that wasn't really much of a powerhouse. Heracross
Yeah, really,
just
he was a
wasn't
little
there.
underdog guy that didn't go anywhere.
Two.
And then Heracross was just someone who was just benched because his gimmick literally left to be in the lab, and they never decided to use him again like that.
Yeah, I mean, Heracross was kind of a cool anchor. It's a shame they putzed around on that one.
Noctowl was decent and being like the best Morty counter, honestly, and being the shiny. And then Larvitar was like the one Pokemon that wasn't captured in a Pokeball, that was literally raised up in an egg, was during the transition of like moving from traditional animation to digital coloring. Like, we literally got a major plot hook with like them going through the mind of a baby that was traumatized by poachers, having him like be like the best baby Pokemon ever, like and like trying to get him out of his shell, and having him actually be moving and wanting to interact with other Pokemon and humans and such. Like, Larvitar was just like this precious cinnamon roll that you just didn't want anything bad to happen to him.
Wait, I keep not hearing who you're saying. What?
Larvitar. You know, the pseudo legendary from Gen 2?
Yeah.
Dang.
I forgot that even happened, obviously.
It really just, I just really love him. I never realized how much I really loved him until like that flashback in episode 132, and it's just like, oh god, I care about him so much.
Oh, jeez.
But
Sorry,
but
I across something that. Oh, do we have a timeout for an amusing, stupid, funny video thing?
But I was just trying to say there was the last Pokemon news. Oh shoot. Well, I was going to go on to last Pokemon news, but our Pokemon expert just paused for a second.
Well, how about the fact that the new Pokemon games, or at least
that is the news, the state of release of the most recent Pokemon game.
All right. Well, here's a stupid, funny video that I'm just seeing now on Twitter. Yeah, two guys in a gym. One who's with a girl and is ripped and is in his sleeveless jersey. He's listening to headphones. He's walking past, and this guy who is in long sleeves, so he doesn't look as built anyway. He may or may not be. He's like trying to get around him as he's walking by, but he doesn't get all the way, and they kind of bump into each other. And ripped guy spins around like and gets in his face, and I don't have any audio, but he starts trying to start something with him over that, and guy in baggier clothes doesn't want to back down, so he pushes him away, and then ripped guy starts wailing on him, or trying to anyway, because about 3 punches in, he misses one completely and throws himself almost in a perfect 90-degree circle, except he also face plants as he's doing it, and then everybody else jumps in, and it gets broken up before it goes much farther, even though, baggy clothes guy got a few hits in first, and then it ends with, it's separated, they're walking away, and, and then somebody says something to, baggy clothes guy says something to him, ripped guy goes to pick a fight with him again, and baggy clothes guy punches him out in one hit. This is why it does not pay to be a bully, kids.
True.
It's just like, it's just like you feel bad for the guy in the baggy clothes until you see the jerk guy miss completely and like spin in a 90-degree circle and face plant. Okay, but go ahead.
Like I said, the Pokemon news is next, so I should hold off slightly. Might as well go to the other quick news and get back. Well, still gaming news related, is the Activision Blizzard merger talks are getting a little bit more spicy in the past couple of weeks, mostly because Sony's been sort of like basically sending like messages to like governments like, yeah, this might not be the best to go forward. And then now other like UK was the first to really start to say, yeah, we're going to investigate this merger and see if it's appropriate. The merger of Activision Blizzard and Microsoft. And then just recently it got leaked that the FTC in the U.S. is seemingly going to sue to block this merger too, which the FTC tends to block very large mergers that risk monopoly or big disruption. I think one of the most high prolific things I remember them from a few years ago was like the potential merger of like Sprint and T-Mobile, I think it was, and then they blocked it. So yeah, if someone people don't know like when the FTC gets involved, it's usually to prevent anti-competitive large mega mergers, not necessarily monopolies, but stuff where it disrupts the field and risk like the negative effects of monopolies and trust. So yeah, that's going on. And also like the sort of funny news is basically because of this, Microsoft is literally saying to like executives like, oh, like we're just trying to become more competitive against Sony, and like stating that Sony makes better games than them in legal documents. And then Sony's making their own little weird arguments saying like, oh, we can't survive without Call of Duty, essentially.
No, we suck more. We suck more.
Yeah, and also like one of the bigger rumors now is like Sony has not really like announced their next slate of games for a while. And the strong rumor of that is that they just don't want to announce all the games they have in production. There are probably a lot of them coming out next year, like Spider-Man 2, which is still scheduled for next year, is because they want to let all those court filings happen or start first before they show a big blowout of like why we're going to beat Xbox's butt, like basically promotional video. So they're like, yeah, let's hold off that for a while. So yeah, that's like a rumor for that too. So yeah, interesting things like this merger. Yeah, it's really still too soon to say because like I said with the Sprint T-Mobile thing, the FTC has broken up mergers that are a lot less larger than that before, but they've also ignored mergers to like the merger of Fox and Disney. It's FTC is very temperamental, but they have had a beef with Microsoft before, so that might also be why they're at least pushing for an investigation if they don't necessarily block it. Claimed by Danner.
Oh no! Oh no! Gator has become dinner. Ah!
Oy. Well, dinner becomes Gator anyway.
Dinner becomes Gator. Wait a minute.
Well, I guess
is a New Orleans?
Unfortunately.
Oy. No one.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Something becomes someone. It means they're well suited to it. I think the Gator is very suited to eating dinner.
That's true.
But yeah, unfortunately we lost our Pokemon expert, but I might as well cover the other story, which is essentially that Scarlet and Violet have come out, which Scarlet and Violet. No, yeah, it is Scarlet and Violet. It's late, so my mind's not fully awake right now. But yeah, the newest recent Pokemon games have finally dropped, and they are I think, yeah, I'm pretty confident saying they are the lowest rated Pokemon games of all time. However, it's not because of gameplay things necessarily, but just because it's a buggy as crud mess from what I've seen from videos. And yeah, there's some hilarious things where like a boy character is getting
stuff. What?
Yeah, there's like this one meme where they see this boy character getting on and off his bike, and then like when he gets on once, he becomes this like giant, like stretched out character that's like 20 feet tall. Yeah, I can't. I'm reminding of that one like at Willy Wonka factory where like that one character gets stretched all the juice out of him, and then like comes out like super tall and lean, and that's essentially what they look like because of glitch. So yeah, that's why I'm really curious how this game's fall because they will patch it and fix things. I'm pretty certain, and like I said, I'm busy with God of War and all that, so I won't be getting into Pokemon for a while. But I am actually excited to try Scarlet and Violet because hopefully, if they can fix all these obscene amount of bugs and bad performance, the game itself is like one of the most diverging Pokemon games in like decades. It is probably the first, like it's one of the most like Pokemon games that seemingly tries to evolve the formula from the traditional like 90s thing. Like the most like Sword and Shield was basically just the same game, just like with 3D models, like more true 3D models, but like it was still very rigid. This is trying to diverge it and be more unique. So that's why I'm curious for later reviews that will cover the game after it's patched because pretty much all the complaints now are just how terribly it runs right now, which is justified. But well, knock on wood, those problems will be fixed with time. So I'm
The
curious
review I
how the
read
game
called
as
it
a
an
whole.
unequivocal technical failure. Just they said
Yeah,
like
like it
the
is.
graphics are lackluster, unimaginative, mediocre. But the fact that the gameplay is not getting criticized, and in fact it says here this guy said that the experience of leaning into that how non-linear Pokemon can be open world gameplay and all that. Like somebody said that this game captures the real magic of the original Red and Blue, which that is an enticing statement.
Yeah, because that's what I said. I'm curious to see how it drops because, well, financial wise, it's already a success. They've already sold 10 million copies like after the first like day or few days. So yeah, it's going to be a successful game, but I'm curious like how it'll rank in like good Pokemon games or things after the bugs and designs and all that get fixed or hopefully get fixed. Because this really is sort of like the next Cyberpunk, which it actually does sort of make sense because I remember an issue I kept bringing in for a while, which actually going back to the Spriggerito thing is we like part of the thing with that is we just straight up didn't know what the evolutions and all that were for the Pokemon until like we don't know the actual final evolutions of all the starter Pokemon. So like officially a few days, like a day or so before the games dropped, and like unofficially even through leaks, it was like only a week before, which to me hints that this Pokemon game was coming in a lot more hot than like they usually do. Because generally, I think Pokemon games usually are finished for a while and they're just bug fixing for long before, like they have them already finished way before they usually release sort of public game releases. This one felt like it was coming in very raw and hot. So that's why I was like wondering if that was sort of foreshadowing because like we really didn't see much gameplay and all that really. Like there wasn't much like Pokemon things besides leaks and all that. Like it was very like unpromoted, which is odd for like one of arguably at least financially one of the most biggest games of the year. But yeah, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Questionable, like it's still to be determined, like quality game wise, but yeah, it was released as a buggy mess. Cartoonishly, like TikTok loving, uh, chaotic mixture. Like yeah, like there'll be there's tons of TikTok videos of all the glitches and pop in and out and all that. But I guess moving on from the Pokemon story, another big news thing is yeah, if you haven't heard like all those like are in the, because this was actually made national news, is yeah, Disney has a new CEO, which is an old CEO, but yeah, Disney's recent CEO for like since 2020 February was Bob Chapek, who used to work for Disneyland and had a reputation as basically the person who increases profits at customers' expense. He's basically a very budget-focused person. He was not very loved, surprisingly. He's sort of the one who necessarily started things at Disney, but it was, if you've heard of like the Disney Genie thing at Disney World, how you have to basically schedule your going to rides and all that. This is also where Disney World has gotten a lot more expensive, and a lot of benefits are cut, and like just a lot of big corporate shakeup. This is like hard to describe because like it's across all of the Disney empire, which is, as we know, is extremely massive. But yeah, if you have, I'm not aware, Bob Chapek has not been well loved or received, but everyone was sort of surprised when like they like just a few weeks or maybe a few months ago at this point, Disney boards unanimously reapproved his contract as a CEO. And then as of last Sunday, there was a straight up coup, and they didn't remove him. He's stepping down all of a sudden, which, if you know corporate America, basically means they say you're stepping down or you're not going to get your golden parachute. So he stepped down and got his golden parachute, where they're basically buying out his contract that they just extended for some reason. And then Bob Iger is coming back, which he's the previous CEO. He's the one who's most famous for bringing both Pixar and Marvel into the Disney umbrella.
Wow.
Oh, and Star Wars.
Ah.
Well, it's an achievement.
And then his last sort of not necessarily great acquisition was bringing Fox in too, which that was not probably the best thing for the company before the pandemic. That $70 billion investment.
Interesting one. At least Anastasia gets to say she's a Disney princess now.
And she'd be a princess an actual princess in real life.
Shit.
Oh, that actually reminds me. Yeah. Gosh, because the way they like to reference it, that would be hilarious if Disney ever did that at some point. Wreck-It Ralph 4.
So, okay, he's agreed to hold the post for 2 years to look for a better successor.
Oh yeah, then there's the other thing. I think the one thing that might push, because a lot of the policies that aren't very loved were sort of started by Iger, but it's not that they're just bad policies, but like Chapek's execution was very terrible. And yeah, like I think there was even like news reports where like reporters were accidentally offhand referred to him as Bob Paycheck, because like he is known for being the cheapskate, which when you're paying like $200 a day at like Disney just for like tickets and parking and all that, you don't want a cheap experience, to say the least. And then on top of that, he was also the Disney CEO that decided to get in a fight with the governor of Florida. So.
Well, that one, I mean, not sure who started that fight. I'm not sure I'm necessarily against him on that one.
Yeah, but like you have to see, like, it's like the thing is like he shouldn't have escalated the way he did, which was that's the stupid part. But yeah, there's no really benefit of getting in a fight with the governor of control of the state that has like your most valuable property that basically holds up your company, who is also a presidential candidate.
Well, that's a two-way street right there, though, because yeah, you're one of the biggest draws to that guy's state. It's like that was a
Well,
pile
it
of
was, but not
stupid all the way
necessarily
around.
yeah, it's not really anymore because Disney really, it's one of those things you can't really understate. Like Disney's, the company really relies on their parks. Like it's understand, like it's one thing you can't, unless you go look at revenue, especially look at profit. Um, like it is not an overstatement to say like half of Disney's revenue comes from their theme parks, and the biggest one is Disney World. They are the things that bankroll the entire other company at this point, which is sort of why Disney is known for like they with Chapek's basically increasing prices, but not anything was improving in Disney World. It's because all those extra profits they are basically gouging guests go straight into helping prop up Disney Plus, essentially. The Disney parks are really what help keeps the Disney empire afloat.
Mm-hmm. Oy. Yeah. The other thing though is like if somebody's gonna be making controversial pushes for things, and you're saying yes, daddy, like that causes you a backlash in a different level. Anyway, though, what is it about guys named
Yep.
Bob being cheap owners? We got the Pirates owner named Bob Nutting, and hey, his nickname is Bottom Line Bob. People are holding signs at the Pirates games that say "Spend nutting, get nutting."
Which Pirates game or?
Just, I think multiple. It's Pittsburgh slogan now: "Spend nutting, get nutting," because Bottom Line Bob Nutting does not, put the quality product first. He puts profits in his own pocket first.
Yeah, that was essentially what like Chapek was known for.
The guy's named
Yeah,
Bob, I
because
swear.
yeah, no, see, yeah, there's been an ongoing joke basically when they're switching from Bob Iger to Bob Chapek is like the Bobs. And the thing is like, yeah, there's a big shakeup. So like there was I think the biggest thing that they said was like sort of what pushed the straw is rumors because like this was a straight up if you look at from the news things coming out, this really was a coup where like the CFO helped orchestrate this, basically them agreeing secretly after they didn't do anything until they got Iger to agree to come back. Then as soon as that ink dried, they had the coup and got rid of Bob Chapek because they were it was a very under the table thing, which again is a little surprising when they willingly renewed his contract just a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's really too soon to say what's going to happen because again, a lot of the bigger policies that aren't that popular were started sort of with Iger, or at least down the road. So it'll be interesting. But Iger, even if he had flaws, he undeniably he's a more better compromiser and businessman, and not someone who's just not he's not someone who's known as a reputation just for cheaping out and everything. So he has issues. His Disney Star Wars being in the state it is probably one of them. But he is undeniably, I think most people agree, an improvement to go back to him from Chapek.
Says that it sounds like he's only sticking around long enough to find a successor he prefers.
Yeah, that's sort of how it was. He was, yeah, like I said, you mentioned it was supposed to be just a 2-year contract. That's officially what it is. We'll see how it goes because it's weird how basic. It reminds me of like how like
curse.
It reminds me of like how like in the UK, how like no one really wants to be like prime minister right now, which is sort of like I figure what's that one goofy one's name? I can't remember.
Boris, whatchamacallit,
Johnson.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, him, like, essentially he got because he wanted the position and was trying to actually push himself to become prime minister when no one else wanted to take up the role.
Shit. Yeah, somebody step it up, please.
So yeah, that's like, and it's like a music. Yeah, so Disney is like, and there is an intent for Iger just to be here for 2 years, just to help pick a new successor, then move on. But it's a weird case of like, yes, some people absolutely want to be the next CEO of Disney, obviously, but at the same time, other people don't want them to necessarily be. So it's going to be like a weird, awkward dance.
Uh-huh. And he's got
Because
2 years to figure it out, or he might be, curse bonded to the crown. Cursed weapon in the video game that you can't remove.
But let me just check some I think it's some other news, like some things, there's nothing necessarily big, just sort of like continuing development stuff. Like I already mentioned Activision Blizzard. There's also like more continuing Twitter drama.
It's like half the time it's like, oh, let's get the popcorn and watch it burn, and other times it's like, all the miserable people come out to play.
Yeah, I think the best comment I've heard about the Twitter thing is like, it's like, well, the good things is like it's a win-win with Musk buying Twitter. Either one, he actually saves Twitter, makes it good again, or two, he burns it to the ground and gets rid of Twitter. Society is better where it goes.
I think there, but actually more like, I think didn't I hear the most likely one is, 3, he futzes it around with it for a bit and then sells it next year to somebody who probably knows what they're doing a little better. Like, I don't know if Twitter seems like it might have reached too big to fail completely mode. I mean, granted, never underestimate how big a shit fire somebody that powerful can create, but I don't know. I think the quote unquote reasonable, rational man's prediction is that he's gonna, give it some glitches, give it some understaffed pain in the neck, and then sell it to somebody else next year, and whatever, that was a thing that happened.
Yeah, I think he's going to stick with it, and it's going to be a pet project for him. Will it be a successful pet project? We won't know. We'll find out.
Or if he just makes it, or one thing is he makes Twitter so inhabitable that it just, I don't know, eats itself up.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, that, like, backup Twitters are really not a thing, as somebody put it. Yeah. Facebook's for boomers, Tumblr's niche, Instagram can't decide what it wants to be, and look at me, I'm the new Twitters, just really don't seem to have their feet on the ground. What was that one that people were pushing around, like, that app that is Twitter like, Honey or something?
Bumble?
It's something else.
Bumble?
No.
But yeah, apparently it's
Bumble's a dating app.
Oh. You said B.
It's,
You said B, and I thought Bumble.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, as I said, it's a
there's like
mobile
there's
only
one.
It's a lot more censored and regulated. So yeah, Hive, there it is.
Oh,
okay. But,
there's like I think 2 or so like are trying to be like, oh, we're into the new Twitter, but they're not really being successful, which sort of makes sense. Because like that's sort of why
like it's gonna pull it off.
Yeah, that's why sort of Musk is probably why he bought Twitter to begin with, because he sort of wanted to get a social media platform. and probably just crunched the numbers behind the scene and figured like, oh yeah, it's too much of a pain in the ass to try because heck, even Google couldn't really, they failed at their crack with Google Plus. So it's just easier to buy one and sort of like modify it. But yeah, Twitter is, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what he does. Like I actually, on none of rock, I am curious what he's going to do with Twitter.
I'm scared.
Sure. I don't know.
And then I
It's
saw
hard
the-
to
and then
know
I
what
saw this
goes on
tweet.
in the head of Elon Musk. I mean, clearly he knows how to do something right, but he's got to do something right to become the richest man in the world. But I mean, he's also, notorious for his dirty laundry and his ego-fueled decisions, and it's kind of like, I don't know, man.
Like I said, like,
All I had to see was like a tweet from like Kyle Rittenhouse, and it was like Elon Musk has given me another gift. Like the people gave me freedom, and now Elon Musk is giving me another freedom from censorship, and all I'm thinking is, uh-oh.
That's what, the alt-right, or the right at this point, I guess, is more accurate, kind of wants it to be, and it is pretty cringe-inducing.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Come out and watching them come out of the woodwork, they're like, oh yeah, Elon's gonna do his part here for restoring normal America, which is that we're always right and everybody agrees with us no matter what we say, shut up.
Ugh. That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, the thing is, like I said, it's hard to sort of tell, like, because I think I actually posted a meme on Facebook which sort of covered it, which is like, it was announced, like, it was like, you've all seen all the news reports about like him firing 3,500 Twitter employees.
Yep.
But like,
he
this
gave
is
them
at the
all
same.
An ultimatum, quit and receive a 3-month severance pay, or step it up in my new Twitter 2.0 long intensive hours that I'm gonna demand out of all of you. And what do you know? Most of them chose the first option.
Well, my point is, like, you've seen all the news coverage and all that about covering, basically framing it as like, oh, he's going to burn down Twitter with this, but at the same time, this like firing of like 3,500 employees, like Google and like Amazon and other companies announced like laying off 30,000 employees before the holidays. So
That's
it's like,
just awful.
Yeah, it's like that didn't get any attention. So it's like, yeah, that's Twitter is in nowhere near as bad a shape as it's been framed, because there was that, like, I think it was last week, they were like, oh, like, it's going to be good, like, saying farewell, like, here's where you can contact me, because they're like, oh, Twitter's going to die, and no, it's still up if you're not aware. So,
Probably
like I said,
not.
it's going to be
just like, I mean, Google and those guys have probably made, like, there's always context. I mean, it didn't get any news, including any news articles, because it's almost certainly like, hey, look at that, they're making prudent, dickish, economically sensible decisions for their company. I mean, Elon, he buys the company, and then the first couple months of him owning it, it's like, is the natural thing that clearly over half the staff goes? Probably not.
Well, it depends. Like I said, a lot of the staff aren't exactly the programmer side, but more of the management side more here. So, like I said, again, it's too soon to say, but like I feel like if you hear like Twitter's dying, it's not like any major effect he has is going to take at least 6 months, I would say. There might be slight tweaks. Yeah, like there was that whole attempt at changing the blue check thing that was like walked back. So like there might be a few things that are tried and walked back, but there won't be, I would say, any major changes for like 6 months or so, as he basically tries to shake up the company and focuses more on that besides actually shaking up the product.
The blue check mark thing. I will say, whenever Elon tries to use Twitter to argue meme style for his changes to Twitter, this has nothing to do with maybe something to do with business sensibility, but it is the cringiest thing. But like watching Elon try to be cool, it's like, yeah, get the Hillary Clinton tries to be cool memes back out and stick them on Elon.
Oh, boy.
It's like,
Oh boy.
yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I'm interested with what he does with the company. It'll be, like I said, it'll be entertaining or like actually possibly actually fix Twitter. Um,
We'll have to see what happens.
yeah, like the one thing like I've heard, because I haven't watched some reports on it, but like I've seen reports that he wants to sort of make Twitter more of a YouTube competitor and all that, which sounds odd, but like actually, if he does try to make Twitter more of a TikTok-like thing, where like really pushing the short video format, that could really actually benefit Twitter.
I wonder how so.
Because like Twitter, I feel would be a good platform for like short, like micro TikTok videos, and because there really isn't. YouTube has their YouTube Shorts, but yeah, that's essentially
So he wants
dump.
to lead it in more of an Instagram kind of direction with the fusion of written updates and pictures and all that. Videos.
Potentially, we don't, like I said, we don't know. So we do some research on the rumors because, like, rumors of rumors, so you can't really judge. But that seems honestly like a sort of direction he will try to do because I don't think it's just like he's going to change how the content is judged and rated and like free speech side. Like that's getting all the flair. Like I feel that's going to be part of his shakeup. One, I don't think it's going to be as like and crazy. It's not going to be as Mad Max crazy as people think. It's still going to be regulated, but I feel it's going to be probably more central instead of left leaning, which Twitter was for a while. Like that's sort of known. Like blue checkmark was become biased in how they gave it out. So I feel it'd be more neutral now. I feel that's where it's going to land. But in terms of like, yeah, that's getting all the headlines is like censorship and blah blah blah. But I feel he's going to also make some big product changes to it within the next 6 months or year, which is like that's what I'm really curious will be.
Sure. The other thing is like that so many. I mean, this is total outside looking in perspective, but it seems like so many of these companies expect people to fall in line the way they quote unquote always have, and as sick as I am of living in unprecedented times, that's what these trend readers seem to fail to account for sometimes. Or really not so eager to fall in line the way they quote unquote once did, and go with companies and such rolling out policies that you are expected to just kind of roll with. It's a hot button society, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
And I guess I was looking over some other news potentially because there's been a whole bunch of stuff. That's where we're at an hour and 40 minutes. We're basically what we've been up to in news. So
Yeah.
But I guess the only other news thing I can see, like I said, we covered Twitter stuff, which is this. It was just a bunch of smaller stuff. I think the biggest thing, which is this sort of like meh in retrospect, was like Trump's Twitter account was reactivated after a Twitter poll, but Trump is still under the "I'm not going to use it" thing. So it's just it's back.
Yeah,
But
Trump has like caught with his feet in two different buckets. Like he still has to. I mean, he's still a significant shareholder in Truth Social, right? So yeah, he can't exactly go around pretending that's not good enough. But yeah, what did you say? He also has to like build something from his followers. screams and chants that he's been censored all this time, and now it's time for him to really step out and get his payback and all that, and like, he said for his own part. He said something about he's not gonna move backwards or something. That Twitter, Elon's a nice guy, but Twitter, there's a lot of stuff changing, and it might succeed, it might not. I'm sticking with Truth Social. I believe in it.
But yeah, like that's what I said though. Like it happened, but like it is so like, oh well, it happened. There's no big sort of blow up around that, but just his account's there. Let's see, and then the other news is going to cover which is going back to Disney news, and Strange World is doing very, very terribly in the box office right now.
I am shocked.
Like, I think because I watched a video earlier covering it, it potentially could be the least performing Disney animated movie since Brother Bear.
Wow. And considering how good they did with Encanto.
Which one was this? Element or whatever?
No, Strange World. Element's the new trailer that is one that's coming out soon. They just released trailers for.
Okay. Wait, wasn't it Home
This
on
is
the Range that face planted at the box office?
I think Brother Bear. No. I think that one actually didn't, because Brother Bear was, I think, the worst one for a while. It was even more than Open Range, which is surprising because everyone knows that movie sort of failed, and also was just downright terrible.
Home on the Range got, for example, it has a higher Rotten Tomatoes score than Brother Bear, but it seems like it's the one people go to when they want to, grit their teeth at a bad Disney movie, gasp. But, I don't know, people seem to find Brother Bear just sort of, inoffensively bland. And I've never actually seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay, here's a news report. Disney's Strange World receives worst audience score in animation studios history. New development, and I remember from the news I seen earlier, the preview day, the preview night, the night before the technical official release, that Strange World only had $800,000 in ticket revenue, which is very low for a preview night. For Disney,
what's the problem? Is it I have had it just hasn't been on my radar. They might have been marketing it poorly. Is it the animation or some kind of woke backlash or some kind of shift from old school or what they see as traditional Disney storytelling? Are they going out on too much of a limb?
Generally, it's just seems to be just bland, just sort of is sort of suffering from the same. Seems to be just sort of suffering from the same fate as the one dinosaur Pixar movie, where it's just sort of it was just sort of everyone could tell this is just a bland movie.
Too much.
Yeah, there is some controversy because there's apparently a gay character that Disney refused cut, which means it was blocked from 20 countries.
Yeah.
Because usually Disney is oh, we'll just edit out this token gay character, but this one is nah, we're not gonna do it this time.
Disney, put your gay characters in your powerhouse movies. You're giving your homophobic pushbackers ammo. See, a gay character was in that and it did not do well. Get woke, go broke.
Oh gosh, I hate that.
Boy,
Oh my god.
Clever.
Yeah, well it's not. Yeah, well it's not. It's not, and it's annoying. It's not, and it's. Why can't it be just as so simple as don't like it, don't watch? But oh well.
Yeah, Well,
Or
it's a
maybe
culture war these days, but
or maybe it's like no, so many didn't like it, so many didn't watch it.
shit.
Actually, I remind you of the Get Well Go Broke. There's actually one example of it sort of being true, which, because like I think we brought up how the G4 TV died.
What happened? How did G4 finally die? I thought it was already dead.
Yeah, it died, but they brought it back for a year. But
And now it's dead again.
yeah, but like one of the controversial things was like it started to lean heavily into like very Activision, or what's the word I'm looking for? Progressive like sort of things, and like it had like one host when she was saying like what do you like about Red Dead Redemption, instead of listing what she liked about Red Dead Redemption, had a pre-planned speech about like how gaming community is filled with misogyny and whatnot, and sort of bashed gamers for like several. Well, apparently we thought it was off script, but apparently it was a prepared script. And
who did that?
well, one of the new hosts, she was like from the I forget her name, but she was from the what's what I'm looking for, like video game esports community.
So was this a lady reviewer or something?
Yes, more of a host sort of things. And
Right.
at first like it was like her
What she had
speech
to do with this G4 TV, because I know nothing about this.
Yeah, that's sort of another bigger problem with like no one really give a crud about the new G4. This just sort of burned because there's a lot of backlash about her comments, and like they basically doubled down like supporting her. And apparently after the fact it became like, oh no, she prepared the speech but didn't tell any of her hosts, which is like if you watch their reactions, like apparently like they're just like deer in headlights because this is not rehearsed. Because like when you do those sort of hosting things, you're supposed to know what someone's saying beforehand. Apparently the only person who knew was the person controlling the teleprompter. So and
I
then
mean, granted, like after Gamergate, I'm not sure that Gamer don't deserve it, because I think like that was during that phenomenon, it was like, yeah, they were
what I was
pretty
trying to get
unstoppable. It was like, get out the way because nobody is gonna tell them otherwise. And then after all the dust settled, it was like, okay, so the gamers just proved that it's stupid to call them, prejudice, sexist, all of that stuff, by acting as prejudiced and sexist and all that stuff is humanly possible. So, yeah.
But I think the thing I was trying to get to is like because it's rumored that like it was just like her spouting out and doing a random thing, but like apparently a lot of the executives sort of wanted to encourage that sort of discourse, just sort of like basically
Draw
bad,
something
like
any way they could.
No, the whole like there's no bad publicity, there's just good publicity sort of like route. But
it's like
that
a pure desperate shot in the dark.
Yeah, shot in the dark that basically backfired even worse. So yeah, that's what I said. It's like that was an actual example of actually. I mean, it was probably doomed to begin with, especially since like apparently they had like a revival, which is sort of like a YouTube channel, actual TV channel thing.
Mm-hmm.
Decided like, oh yeah, let's have 200 employees, which is like sort of like what, for like the kind of thing is like there's lots of problems with this new G4 revival.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
But yeah, I am tired, so that's why I'm going random off topic. But yeah, that's the sort of news things we've been like. There's been a lot of Pokemon news, which is still developing. Hopefully, it gets fixed.
Yep.
And the unfortunate passing of two great actors. Disney's shakeup, which is surprising, and we still don't really know the implication. But then the Activision merger might actually not go through. So, yep, that's the big news stories, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, okay, it says here that while Brother Bear did not exactly smash the box office, it looks like Home on the Range made less money with a bigger budget. like it was actually considered a flop because it made less than twice its budget.
Yeah, I think this is though the number is more about the opening weekend though, so that's where my Brother Bear might come in. Home of the Range might actually done better than basically died off more after that.
A no legs kind of movie.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But actually going to sort of go up to part of the problem I think is this might be part of Chepik's idea, but I also feel that Disney sort of screwed over their animation department by keeping them on Disney Plus for so long as a free thing. So essentially conditioned people to see like Pixar as a streaming thing you can watch and not something you see in theaters. But yeah, the other movie studios in their pandemic, like Warner Brothers released things on their streaming thing, HBO Max, but they also released them in theaters at the same time, and then they transitioned off of off of streaming. Then other studios were basically streaming and theatrical release only very quickly. But Disney sort of like even going back as recently as like Red was like at the last like less than a month before release its theatrical release cut it from all theaters. So that might have really damaged the thing because the way with like movie productions work is basically it's tiers of release. So you can start with theatrical, then you can release into like special areas, which is like pay-per-view or like airlines. And then from there you can move to like DVD release, and then there you can do to like streaming or TV release. And then from there you can like break up through other stuff. But when you go straight to streaming or like shift more towards that, you're skipping a lot of those tiers of profits. So by trying to prop up Disney Plus, they might have done some significant damage to the animation departments. Again, we'll have to sort of wait and see what Disney does back under Iger.
Yep. I know absolutely nothing about this, so. So no idea what to expect.
All right, but I guess with that said, any other things before we head off?
Other than that, just rest in peace, Kevin Conroy and Jason David Frank. Rest well and thank you.
Here.
And and Jason David Frank, may you finally find peace, some sort of peace.
I guess
these categories.
I should just hop back up. But I guess with that said, see y'all next time.
Good night. Happy weekend.